Now boarding for Rebuild of Joycast, your weekly destination for anime, manga, and more.
Get excited, Val, it's a Dragon Ball episode.
Dragon Ball, I love Dragon Ball.
Okay, don't be mean. Don't be too mean. Okay, that's my job. All right. You're threatening my whole shtick.
Now here's the thing. I genuinely do like Dragon Ball. It's just like at a point after Z, I get really sick of it, quite frankly.
Yeah, but I mean, if you really like Z though, well, I've got the feature for you. Everyone, we previously discussed in a previous episode that we weren't really too enthusiastic about Dragon Ball Superhero.
I thought it looked cool. I like the 3D art style and everything.
I respect it. I will say that much. And we saw some spoilers, some screen caps, and we laughed at them. And I said, you know what? Reserve judgment until I see it in motion. That being said, I wasn't gonna see it, but I wake up to a text at 6 o'clock this morning. A text, not an email. It's supposed to be an email. I've got a credit for a screener of Dragon Ball Superhero. So now I am obligated to see it. And so I saw it. I literally just came back from it. And so very fresh thoughts. So first and foremost, this is going to be a spoiler-filled discussion. And Val has not seen this movie. I have, and I don't feel bad spoiling it because...
You know I don't care that much.
Because you don't care, an audience. Nothing about what I'm going to say should dissuade you from seeing this movie. You like anime? You should go see this movie, alright? I'll preface it that way. You like it? Here we go. Otherwise, also this movie, there really isn't much to spoil anyways. It's just an action film, okay? And anything that's actually truly worth spoiling, I cannot do that to you in the audio format. So, rest assured guys, this is a spoiler discussion, but there's really nothing to spoil. Once again, I think y'all are full of shit and you've already read up on this shit on Twitter when it came out in Japan, so, don't get mad at me, don't shoot the messenger. Otherwise, in terms of my review, my criticism, I actually want to lead everything with a positive note. Because this movie does a lot right by the franchise before it falls into its old mistakes each time. This is a very uneven movie. I think it's a very middling theatrical experience. But I think if you like anime, you'll be satisfied. If you like Dragon Ball, you're gonna fucking love this movie. So let me just start. So I'm gonna get right into it. This movie is fucking stupid. And I mean fucking stupid. And to its benefit, it is very self-aware of its stupidity.
I was about to say, what happened to starting this off positively, Ivan?
I consider its stupidity a positive attribute. Okay. This is the dumbest thing Dragon Ball has ever produced.
I don't believe
silly.
You.
There's a villain who has some great shots. Every time the camera pans down, he's on a step stool. There's a part where Piccolo's fighting one of the superheroes. And every time he punches Piccolo, there's like comic book like sound effects. And Piccolo's like, why are those letters showing up behind you and stuff like that? Like, this thing knows what it's doing. And a lot of the new characters are introduced with text and shit. It's very stupid. It's very silly. It's very bright and cheery. But it does have some very badass moments. And we'll get to that. The action? I mean, that's what this entire franchise is predicated upon. This movie especially runs on this action. The action and the 3D that serves it well. This looks good in the action. But stationary scenes look like shit. Whenever they're just sitting around talking, it looks awful.
No, they don't even take advantage of the 3D and like at least have them like gesticulate and everything.
So like, I mean, there's definitely more motion than your average anime, if that's what you're asking. But I would fucking retort that Dragon Ball Super Broly had perfectly fine 2D motion, whether it was stationary dialogue scenes or action. It looked consistently great through and through. This thing is a fucking mess.
It's weird.
The action looks incredible. And I've got to give it credit, even if the stationary looks bad, the art direction is still very good. The colors are great. The backgrounds are beautiful, but they don't fit in place. The character models do not fit on the background space. It doesn't mesh well. But the action looks good. And to this movie's credits, to make anime style very functional in a 3D space, I would argue that it actually takes more effort than the fidelity you would see in a Pixar film. And I will die on that hill. And I think that when this animation puts that effort to make that anime model functional in a 3D space, it looks incredible. Very good. They do mix in a lot of 2D animated effects, which I appreciate. But at that point, I'm like, if you're just gonna 2D animate that, why not just 2D animate the whole fucking movie? Come on.
Yeah, that's something that I always
Come
think
on,
about.
I'm a purist.
I always think about that with 3D animation. I'm always like, just if you stick with it being 3D and just concentrate.
Commit
it's
to
like
it.
Beastars. Beastars?
Yes.
For example, in my opinion, I know you weren't. You like we've talked about this.
I
You
like the opening. I
slice
like the
of
first
life,
couple episodes of
high
Beastars.
school drama and everything.
Yes,
If
I
it
like
makes
that.
you feel better, the second season gets right back into that. But that's why it looks good, because it's entirely 3D for the most part. There might be like I can only think of like the time where maybe Haru's like feeling up against Lagoshi's hot sexy wolf. No, I'm joking.
So
like,
stuff
body
like
and everything, but-
Beastars walks so DBS superheroes can run. I will absolutely admit to that.
Yeah.
This
Like,
this is a step forward.
I get why some people don't like 3D animation, but I think
I completely
studios
understand
like Orange
because Val, when they're just doing fucking talking and stuff and dialogue or just laying around, if it's not with an action camera that's always in motion and looking at things from different perspectives and angles, if the camera is stationary and we're just watching people talk and move, horrible. Looks horrible. It looks like cheap TV anime CGI. And I want people to fucking stick to their guns on that. People, because I've seen some people who are complimenting the animation completely on this film, but they'll talk massive shit about TV anime CG. This is TV anime CG.
I mean,
Man.
I think a lot of the thing with
Stick to your
3D
guns.
films is really the ability to, like, I mean, like, you know, because as you know, I've been messing around with Blender a lot and everything.
Yeah.
And I've been messing around like 3D space and everything. And the key to
So
3D
okay, so
animation,
speaking of Blender, this doesn't look like Blender. This looks
Oh,
like
no, I know it
SFM.
doesn't.
This looks like SFM animation.
Oh, okay. I doubt
That's animated on the 1s and 2s, or the 2s and 4s, whichever's basically, you know, that Into the Spider-Verse kind of style?
Yeah.
Not quite that, but close. They definitely reduced the frame rate just a little bit to its help, but it still looks like it looks like someone took some fucking DBZ fighters and Xenoverse models and fucking moved them on a plane.
Speaking of,
They
didn't
really
they, like,
does. It looks like that. Again, it looks great in action, but when it's stationary, you're like, oh my god, this kind of looks kind of... I think I know YouTube SFM animators who could do a better job. That's sad.
Aren't they doing like weird One Piece level like shadow canon with like Dragon Ball fighters where like the I have no idea what her
Yes,
model
they
number
do
is.
acknowledge some characters from DBZ fighters.
Yeah, like the android lady who's
Yes,
also Martian
she
Boone?
makes a very brief cameo.
Yeah, she's like her and Dr. Gero had a kid, and then like the main villain in the film is like his grandson.
So the main villain, he's not the main villain. He's like the instrument of the main villain.
Okay.
So let me get the preface for you of this the synopsis. So the Red Ribbon Army is trying to mount a comeback.
I actually like the Red Ribbon Army.
I
actually
like them
think
too, but this film makes me hate them.
That's fair,
and
but
I will tell you why.
I just feel like the fact that they are from the original Dragon Ball and everything, and just their remnants and like their actions have spiraled into some of the biggest events in the Dragon Ball universe.
They're very
are
grounded,
very cool.
comparably. and
Yeah,
I like
that's why
them.
I like Red Ribbon Army. But please,
But they
please.
suck in this film. So this movie opens on beautiful 2D animation that recaps the Red Ribbon Saga in Dragon Ball. Then goes through the Cell
Beautiful.
Saga, explains Dr. Gero. So then through 30 minutes of straight expository dialogue. This is fucking awful, Val. This movie, I honestly, because I had a free ticket, I kind of wanted to walk out. 30 minutes of expository dialogue amongst the Red Ribbon Army. So fucking
That's dumb.
repetitive and boring, but let me explain the synopsis, because they explain the synopsis. So Dr. Gero has a grandson, and the grandson, is he's a young prodigy genius who has a bit of a fetish for superheroes, and but otherwise he's kind of got like a bit of a bad rep. Lots of labs don't worry. Very inconsistent because he has like zombie fucking androids and he kidnaps people and replaces them so they can work at freaking like gas stations. It's simultaneously silly and again, it's very stupid and funny, but also stupid and like it lacks consistency because we're introduced as this young man to being kind of fiendish and unhinged. He proceeds to be very boring and childish, and he's employed by the Red Ribbon Arby's villain, who wants him to make androids to fight the Capsule Corp.
fighters.
The Z.
What?
So this is the interesting thing. So one of the things I like about this, they offer a perspective. For once, we're actually truly seeing a ground level perspective of Capsule Corp and the Z Fighters. The Z Fighters are like cryptids to these people. It's not really, it's uncertain if they really exist, and the Capsule Corp, because it's a giant fucking billionaire foundation, is paying people to be quiet about it. So the Red Ribbon Army's going, what are they hiding in there? They're hiding something. And that's what he's egging on the kid genius, be like, hey, I think these guys are villains. I think they're setting up for an alien invasion. And if you see from their actions from the outside in, it looks that way. Bulma looks like a piece of fucking shit. She looks like the Elon Musk of this world, where she's up to some underhanded shit and hiding things. And yeah, and you understand what they're trying to do. But unfortunately, there's just no consistency in the characterizations. And the young genius goes, I just want your money. I know you guys suck, but I want your money so I can build my superhero robots. And they go, all right, agreed. But you also have to make me a new cell. Sure, fine. And that's where my eyes glaze over and go, can we move on to something new?
I was going to say, people have been talking about it for ages, and frankly, of course they were going to do it, because they brought back Frieza. And I hate so much that they brought back Frieza. I'm not going to get into it, because we'll probably mention it.
We're not going to talk about that, but a recent leak with Frieza, and which I just roll my fucking eyes. 2 steps forward, 100 steps back. That's my feeling on that, and I'm not talking about it.
All I feel is, why do any of you 30 years down the line find this entertaining?
And they do, and they fucking do, and that's why they keep doing it. And that's why this film keeps doing what it does. So, I'm gonna keep going. So they make robots, and so now after 30 fucking minutes of I want to fucking kill myself,
voiced by Zeno Robinson and Alex Lay,
they do a great job. And that's not now. I haven't complimented this film in a long time. They are great. The English dub is awesome. Those 2 characters they play, they're called Gamma 1 and Gamma 2. Gamma 1's a little bit lean. He's the serious one. Gamma 2, played by Zeno, he's basically a robot Hawks. Like, he's the cool one. He loves being a superhero. He's got the charisma. Everyone in the Red Ribbon Army loves him because he's like their big brother and best friend. These 2 robots as a pair, if we would talk about joined at the hip characters like Teen Gohan, Teen Goten and Trunks, who are also in this film, I like these 2 robots better.
But obviously,
I think they're pretty sweet.
See, that's what I was going to say.
I think they're pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm sure they are, but it's like,
they fight with guns. They're brawlers. They don't have energy beams. They fire little blaster guns, which stylistically looks really cool. Again, in really well choreographed action that is also animated very well, unlike everything else.
Yeah.
I like them. Unfortunately, they are heavily underutilized, considering the emotional weight they carry at the end.
Is the main thing, I'm guessing.
He's not. He's the Twilight. He's the 3rd act. So don't worry about that. Again, why it's so awful? Because he's barely a thing. So they come and attack Piccolo. Because, again, they don't know what the Z Fighters are, but the world remembers King Piccolo. And they're like, the Capsule Corp is working with King Piccolo. They're colluding together. They're setting up for an alien invasion. We gotta fucking stop them. So from the robot's perspective, the Capsule Corp and Piccolo are the villains, and it's very understandable perspective.
Well, that's cool.
It actually makes for a good conflict because
no, that is, yeah.
Because I mean, tell me, do you think Piccolo is interested in explaining himself? Fuck no.
Probably not.
Piccolo's like, what the fuck are you? I don't give a shit. Let's fight. And I like that because that's the shit that I make fun of in our abridged parodies of Dragon Ball. The Z Fighters are pieces of shit, and now we're actually seeing them get some comeuppance.
Yamcha's just a baseball playing nobody.
They're a bunch of jocks. Is what they are.
What about T and Shinhan?
And they don't answer to anyone. But now we have someone to answer to, and it's quite an interesting dynamic. I like it, but I'm getting ahead of myself. 30 minutes of expository dialogue that's boring. We get Piccolo training Pan. Oh my god, Val. They do Pan so much justice. They do Piccolo justice. This is Piccolo's movie, by the way. This is my favorite thing about this film and why I think I love it. Piccolo is the main character. And I don't think he's ever gotten to be the main character. Ever.
It's not Gohan.
Gohan's a part of it. Gohan also gets justice. Basically by proximity of Piccolo, Pan and Gohan get justice. But I want to talk about Pan. She is fucking adorable. She should be the replacement for Goku. I'm fucking serious. Speaking of Goku and Vegeta, I will address that.
Yeah, where
Goku
are they?
and Vegeta are fucking pointless in this film. They are there for one fight.
Even?
They are there purely for trailer footage. They're on Beerus's planet. They're training with Broly. So Broly, Chilai, and Lemo have moved in with Beerus. And why does Beerus allow this? Because Lemo can cook and Lemo can cook and Chilai is his type, in their own words.
I remember I heard somewhere where it's like Broly will be the next god of destruction because obviously Goku would
Broly
be
is
interested
just
in
there.
that.
Broly is a pet. Broly is literally a lapdog. He
Why
basically
is it that in Dragon Ball Z world, like turning a new leaf and whatnot just equals being like domesticated?
because they can't write for these characters because they should just go.
It was fine for Vegeta to a point.
It
like
works
maybe
for
in
but
GT,
now where
I
Piccolo
think it
currently
worked.
stands. Well, yeah, it works for Vegeta because that's a trope in all of anime that the first enemy becomes your begrudging rival ally. He works because he's a serviceable rival. Piccolo works because he's actually developed, and in this film, they develop him further through subtext. It's not in the overtext, but subtextually, there's a lot to gnaw on.
Do you remember in GT where like the entire Earth was being destroyed and Piccolo's like, "Hey Gohan, I'm gonna die now," and Gohan's like, "What the fuck, Mr. Piccolo? Why are you doing this to me?" It's like, it's just my time, man. I'm done."
Yeah, because
Do you remember that?
because that's the writing admitting it has nothing, but give
No, when I was a
superheroes
kid,
credit.
I actually loved that. I actually loved the fact that Piccolo was like, "No, Gohan, I'm done. I just
Yeah,
want
it's
to die."
badass. I mean, it's badass because that's what GT was. It was badass for better and worse. But so to this movie's credit, they give Piccolo more depth and things to do and has a purpose. Where I'm like, Piccolo, so Goku and Vegeta are so fucking pointless in this film. They're there for I think about 5 minutes max. They're there for an action fight. They fight each other and then they're gone.
They fight each other.
They're just training.
Okay.
That's all they're doing, and it's worthless. Piccolo should be the leader of the Z Fighters now. I'm fucking serious. He rallies the troops. If they
the
put
others are in
forth
it?
even half the effort that they did here, Super should be about Piccolo and the new Z Fighters. They could do.
I
They
agree.
don't need Goku and Vegeta.
No,
They
I agree.
don't need
I
them.
think Dragon Ball Z should really be about them without Goku and Vegeta. The stakes would be higher, and it'd be cooler actually seeing these characters coming to their own.
Exactly. No, what you're saying, that's this movie. But now we have actual. We've said this in the past. We keep saying it, but now we actually have concrete, written, canonical proof that actually works. It works. If they want to do it, they can do it, and it'd be so much better. So that being said, now let me criticize some things. So Piccolo's whole arc, basically after he infiltrates the Red Ribbon Army for some fun comedic effect, he kind of makes some friends within the army. It's I like it. Piccolo's very funny. But actually I'm getting ahead of myself. So he trains with Pan, and Pan has a whole arc of where she's Piccolo's new student, and they have a great dynamic. I wish it was just the two of them. They're so funny. She's just precocious as fuck. But she's struggling because she can't fly. She's like her mother. She doesn't quite grasp flying yet. And she's like, I want to shoot laser beams and shit now. And Piccolo's like, you gotta learn to fly first. You gotta prove to me that you can fly, and then we can move on to the cool shit. And she's like, fuck you. She goes to school, and she's fucking cute and hilarious. And she goes to school, and the Red Ribbon Army, they want to get Gohan's attention. They think they've killed Piccolo, But now they want to get rid of Gohan. So like, okay, we're gonna hold Pan hostage. So Piccolo infiltrates the army and goes with them on the kidnapping mission.
I have a question.
And Pan beats the shit out of this huge fucking Red Ribbon Guard, and it's a fucking awesome fight sequence. And so Piccolo goes, "Hey, it's me. We're gonna put you in these fake handcuffs, and we're gonna use you as bait for Gohan." So Gohan grows the fuck up and fights. And I'm like, "Yeah, let's fucking go. This is fucking funny. This is stupid as shit, but let's fucking do it."
So I'm confused. Do the Red Ribbon Robot things or the kid actually believe they are superheroes? Because obviously this
They
kid
do.
is
No,
like
they genuinely believe they're the good guys, and the Red Ribbon Army has tricked them.
just opposed to their weird fucking morals and everything. And the
No
approach
weird
that
morals.
they
They are just they were built to be superheroes. Up and away, save the day. You're the bad guys. You guys are alien colluders, and you're going to take over the Earth. We had to stop you. And if
Okay.
no one's interested in explaining themselves, because even Gohan refuses to explain himself. So as long as they're not explaining themselves, and again, normally in films that withdrawal of information is stupid. It's like, man, if they just explain themselves, there wouldn't be a problem. But that is so in character for the Z fighters, because they think they're above it all. They're a bunch of fucking pricks. So they're getting their asses whipped by these robots. They fucking deserve it. And it's a great even fight, but prefacing that, when they realize that there's a new cell on the way, Piccolo's like, oh fuck, I need more power. Can you make the dragon wish for me to unlock my latent energy back on net? Like, remember when Gohan and Krillin got their latent energy unlocked? Piccolo does this too now, and it's just like, and you're like, can we just earn things? Can we earn things? Piccolo has been training for a long time over the years. This is a time skip, by the way.
I was like a thing.
Goten and Trunks are adults now.
No, I know, but like Plague of Gripes or something. He's like a YouTuber that like went into Dragon Ball a bit and everything. But like Gohan, like in the early stages, like Dragon Ball Z and everything, didn't earn jack shit.
No,
A lot of his
in Dragon Ball
motivations
Z,
make no sense.
he trains with Piccolo.
Oh yeah, he trains with Piccolo, but he also gets power up from Kami, power up from
Yeah.
what was it? Did he get, like,
Wait,
the Sacred
it's that
War or
power
something like that?
from Supreme Kami or whatever. So that's
Yeah.
what Piccolo does in this film, and my eyes glaze over.
And then
I'm
it's like Android
God
16.
damn it! But they make a joke about it because the dragon goes, "You only had a little bit. The potential you had left, there was only a little bit." And it's kind of a laugh moment. It's like, ah, fuck Piccolo. But then Piccolo unlocks his equivalent to Super Saiyan.
Why don't they just go? Well, then just make me really, really fucking powerful. Like, really, really fucking more powerful than I could ever have been normally.
Because we're not Frieza, because that's the difference between them and Frieza.
But
And it's stupid.
bullshit.
It's hypocritical. It's absolutely hypocritical.
It's
But anyway,
stupid.
so Piccolo does in the middle of the fight untap into his little something extra, as Shenron calls it, and he becomes Orange Piccolo. He literally calls it Orange Piccolo. But as stupid as it sounds, it's actually really fucking sick, and the music in this movie is fucking incredible.
No,
Soundtrack's
I was
awesome.
happy. I was happy
So
when I
when
found out.
Orange Piccolo comes, Val, it's like fucking operatic. It's scary. Like when he shows up, again, because from the Red Ribbon Army's perspective, they're the bad guys. Piccolo looks like a fucking villain. He goes orange.
Well, he always
he
has.
becomes buff orange. He just towers over fucking guys, and the music's going, oh no no, and it's fucking frightening. And it's like, wow, Piccolo's the coolest fucking character. Piccolo stands. You are eating good in this film.
Yeah, no, I thought it was cool when I found out that Piccolo had a fucking new form, because frankly...
Way
I'm
better than the
sick.
Super Saiyan God shit. All the new Super Saiyan shit, fucking stupid in comparison to Orange Piccolo. Orange Piccolo is fucking badass because the way it complements his weird little stretching and growth powers, because he uses that. He's the most unique fighter in the Z fighters. And so his new transformation is very complementary. He stands out more. It's really cool. I like it. I hope he doesn't get any more transformations, but he will. Because you know that's just Dragon Ball. That's the power creep of the Dragon Ball franchise.
To be honest, the only Dragon Ball movie I want is, I don't know, Krillin trying to save fucking Android 18 or something and using Kaioken. Give Krillin Kaioken, for fuck's sake.
Krillin gets some due in this film. He's a cop. He's still a cop. That sucks. But
Yeah,
he
it's
does
fine.
get to do. He gets to throw a destructo
Krillin's a
disc
good
in
guy.
the climax.
He gets a Destructo disc?
He gets to do a destructo disc. This movie's fan service. It gives everyone what they want.
That's good. Wait,
but
what about
otherwise,
Yamcha?
Goten and Trunks are also there. They're fucking useless. They're teenagers now, so now they're fucking useless, just like GT.
What about
They do the
Yamcha?
fusion dance.
Oh,
They're
okay.
fat
Useless.
Go-Tanks, and it's for comedic effect. But he gets a couple good shots in. But I'm getting ahead of myself once more. So like I said, they fight. Gohan's pissed. Piccolo and Pan pretend to be hostages to get Gohan all pissed. Gohan gets his ass whooped, and Piccolo's like, man, I fucking believe you. I know you're a fucking fuck up, but I still believe in you. And then after they get their misunderstandings out of the way,
Gohan says,
then
"Fuck
they
you,
unlock
Piccolo, I
Max,
pay
and it's called
taxes."
Maximum Cell. So it's not Perfect Cell. It's that form before that, but a giant
second.
kaiju version. He literally does the multi-lasers like Shin Godzilla. They literally rip that off.
Okay.
They do the laser carousel from Shin Godzilla. But so it's literally so it's Piccolo, Gohan, Pan, the superhero robots, Android 16, Krillin,
16?
Bulma,
What?
the blonde one.
Oh, 18.
18, yes, 18. It's Android 18, all against Maximum Cell. Maximum Cell has no personality. He's just a kaiju. He's just a monster that we had, an empty monster we have to fight. Again,
Boring.
presents great opportunities for Piccolo because they're both very weird monster guy fighters. So that's great. Though it gets really bad. One of the robot heroes sacrifices themselves. It's actually quite emotional. It's the cool one, number 2, that everyone likes. But unfortunately, they're just not on camera long enough to get the maximum effect of that emotional beat. And it's a shame because again, they're very likable. So then all that's left is Gohan. And Piccolo's like, bro, I've always believed in you. I know there's something more you can do. And so Piccolo's holding off Maximum Cell, and he's like, I want your best. Give me your best attack. I will wait. I will hold Maximum Cell for as long as I can. And so Gohan's powering up, and he's like, all right, I'm ready. And Piccolo goes, no, farther. Okay, Piccolo, I'm ready. Farther. Piccolo's like dying, and he's like, no, go fucking further, bitch. And so Gohan becomes, they don't give it a name, but it may as well just be Super Saiyan 5.
I heard it was
It
something
looks
like
ridiculous.
Beast
It looks
Gohan
like
or something.
It looks like the Super Saiyan 5 that every middle schooler made in their brains back in the day. It's not special. But what is fucking special is
It never is special.
Gohan does the special beam cannon. And it is fucking sick.
That's pretty cool.
That is such a like ribbon bow on his relationship with Piccolo. Amazing. And he saves the day with just the crispest fucking special beam cannon.
And he picks up his
And
door
Piccolo's
and
like,
she-
how'd you learn that move? I've never seen you use that move. And Gohan's like, I haven't done much training, but when I do, that's the one I practice. And you're like, I clutch my heart. Oh, fuck. I love these guys. Why can't Super just be about this trio? The Gohan, Pan, and Piccolo trio. They're so good.
I think it should just it should just be about the humans at this point.
Yeah, and so I talk about the subtext. So the subtext is the fact that this subtextually, this is about Piccolo's disappointment in Gohan. Because Gohan and Videl are so busy, they can't even pick up Pan from school. That's why Pan gets kidnapped. And Pan's all sad. Like, so she doesn't say it outright, but you could tell that out of everyone, she's the most disappointed in her father. Because she goes, Piccolo, you said my dad's the strongest one, right? And he's like, yeah. And Pan's like, yeah. Like, they don't marinate in too long, because this is mostly a stupid action film. But the heart of this film is Piccolo and Pan's disappointment in Gohan. It's like he's not available. He's so wrapped up in his research, and Goku and Vegeta are just gone.
Wait, what does
They're
he
not
do?
here anymore.
What does Gohan actually
So who's
do?
gonna defend the planet while they're away? All that pressure is on Piccolo, and what do they make Piccolo do? He's got to protect the world and be Pan's nanny. It's frustrating, and he voices his frustrations with Gohan, and there's some good familial drama in this film. Doesn't last long, but it's good, and I'm like, wow. Again, between the perspective of Capsule Corp being the villain, and Gohan and Pan and Piccolo's relationship, and how they're all disappointed in each other, they're finally biting on some actual good story now. And I hope this is a sign of good things to come. I hope this is a sign of improvement. If we're gonna use 3D, if 3D is the price to get some good story, I'm all for it. But unfortunately, speaking of the story though, that first 30 minutes is fucking unbearable.
What happens to the Red Ribbon Army in the end then?
They all die.
What?
Their leader dies. The fucking that hero kid who's the unhinged scientist, he does kill him. And it's like, oh yeah, I am kind of a fucking bad guy. Because he's like, you used me to make Maximum Cell, and I didn't want Maximum Cell. I have my hero robots. You're a bad guy. Now I'm gonna kill you, because that's what heroes do, apparently. Again, just so wildly inconsistent. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the Red Ribbon Army just gets fucking obliterated. They die. I mean, who knows? Maybe he didn't actually die. Maybe he just fucking passed out. We just don't see. We see the guy, quote unquote, getting killed, and then we don't see him again. So
it might sound boring, but quite frankly, I think
dead
the
in the
thing
One
that
Piece
Dragon Ball
sense.
Z does the absolute worst is space. Space shit in Dragon Ball Z is boring. It's poo. I don't give a shit about it. I prefer everything that goes on Earth over anything that they do when it comes to space shit in Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, but this is a domestic.
I was actually
this
hoping.
So this is a domestic
that
saga.
the Red Ribbon Army would at least continue on and just bankroll everything that then happens, like in the future.
That's what they were doing. Like they basically, like, the whole thing is like they set up a front. Like, it's a pharmaceutical company. Mm-hmm. And they're just quietly waiting for their time to come back. And the fact that Goku and Vegeta are just gone, and now they've got that scientist on their team. They're like, all right, time to bring the Red Ribbon Army back. Let's fucking go. But
Yeah,
at the
that's
end, they all get obliterated by Maximum Cell. So it is what it is. But I'm sure they'll be back another day. I mean, what's this, like the 5th fucking time the Red Ribbon Army's fucking died and been disbanded? They'll lick their wounds and there'll be a new leader for another day. And it ends with that unhinged scientist joining Capsule Corp to make them so the rich Bulma gets richer.
Of course.
Bulma fucking sucks in this movie.
Why does she suck?
She's just. I mean, she's in character. It's just like if she's not actually gonna do anything. If she's basically Bulma is better with Goku and Vegeta. She should be in the Goku Vegeta camp. She's one of the jockish assholes. She needs to be on that.
Bulma
camp.
hasn't been that entertaining in fucking ages.
She's good. No, I find her to be very entertaining in most of Super. Like, again, when she's the trio being Goku, Vegeta, and her, that's a good trio. But in terms of this outer supporting Z Fighter group, she's a piece of shit. She's boring. It's funnier when she sticks up to the big bad guys. Here, she doesn't do that. She's just fucking messing around. She's being lazy and rich. But I just like I think we've hit like the half-hour mark. I feel like I've said my piece on this. So like overall, like my final thoughts.
You seem to enjoy it more than you dislike it.
I enjoy it more than I dislike it. It's a solid 6.5 out of 10. But for the Taliban of the anime community, I'll give it a 10 out of 10. So I can sleep peacefully at night. So that's it. That's all I had to say. I'm never gonna watch it again, but I very much I appreciate the experience I had, especially because it was for free.
Worried that the Dragon Ball Z fans were gonna put a fatwa on you.
No, they didn't. I give it a 10 out of 10. You can't do nothing. It's a 10 out of 10. It's a 10 out of 10. Sorry, that's a number you like. You're all about power levels, right, kids?
No. They like an over 9,000, my friend.
Sure, an over 9,000 out of 10. Whatever you want, baby. Whatever you want. I just don't want you to cry and get sad. I'd hate to upset a 40-year-old. So now let's go back. Let's catch up on the manga this week.
Start with Chainsaw Man?
Let's start with Chainsaw Man. So, Denji's back.
Fuck yeah.
And guess what? Everyone gets to have their cake and eat it too, because he's back, but it's more like they treat him like a cryptid running around in the background, which I think is amazing. I love that.
No, I like that too.
He gets one panel at the end, but otherwise he's just in the background. Again, we're watching Denji from another perspective, just like in Dragon Ball Superheroes. It's like Denji kind of looks unhinged from the outside looking. If you're looking at him from the outside, he kind of looks like a piece of shit. And so you get more understanding with our protagonist, Asa, and her other half, Yoru. Steena mentioned in our comments that Asa and Yoru means morning and night. Mm-hmm. So that's the thing they're going with, and I quite adore that too. I think that's quite cute. But yeah, so the Bat Demon, they're just running. It basically that entire chapter is just. I should say it's not just action. They So again, the cinephile that Fujimoto is, the chapter is called "Save the Cat," which in writing is a fundamental in writing. When in doubt, if you want to endear your audience to your character, make them save a cat. Or to equivalent, save a small animal, save a person. Do some kind of, even if it's a subtextual form of rescue. If your protagonist does that in the opening pages of your script, you have a solid script. You have a solid grasp on an approachable, likable protagonist. And so, Fujimoto weaponizes this concept. Save the cat. Saving the cat actually has multiple purposes, has multiple meanings. He wants to subvert save the cat. And in many ways. So, Asa has a flashback where she has saved a cat at the cost of tripping and falling and causing her mother to die during a devil accident. And that's her superhero origin. That's her saving the cat. And Asa learns through this experience where she sees her friend who borrowed her shoe lying on the ground, and she goes, oh fuck, do I save that cat? Bad things happen when I try to save the cat. And then she thinks about it and goes, fuck that. Saving the cat is important. So she saves her friend, and they escape, but they're about to die. Boom, in comes Denji Chainsaw Man, saves them.
She trips.
She trips. Yeah, and she's like, fuck.
Trips.
She always trips. But Denji saves her, and then this other devil goes, ha ha ha, Chainsaw Man, why are you working to protect the humans? You're a devil just like me. Well, if you love the humans so much, raises a car full of old people and a bike with a young man, you have a choice. Save this 5 old people, or fucking, or lose this young life full of potential. Drops them, they both fucking die. And Chainsaw Man appears, he kills the fucking demon, and out from the rubble, he rises with the cat in his hands and goes, bro, there was a cat too. And suddenly, saving the cat looks kind of fucked. And Asa sees this. Asa sees that Denji lets 6 people fucking die over a cat. Willingly, with no remorse. So, saving the cat has been subverted. Fujimoto is a fucking genius. He has used save the cat trope to turn Denji firmly into our antagonist. So that way that there was no hinge of doubt, all these people in the comments are like, oh, I'm waiting for Denji to come back and take over the series. I don't like Asa. She's not the hero. And it's like, bro, I'm sorry, but Denji's the new antagonist of Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man is the title of the series and the name of the antagonist now. And now you have shown it. This is fucking awesome. And it's also a great callback to Power. Because remember, Power always said save the cat as well. This is fucking... How did you feel about this chapter? Because I think this is the best chapter so far.
Like I said, I think I mentioned it to you the other day where I was like, I'm excited for this because I feel like Arthur
big
then
beefy
going to
chapter
come
2. We're
in
going every
and
2 weeks now.
Oh yeah, true. Oh wow. Yeah, true.
Here it sucks, but if that means a healthy Fujimoto who's going to give us like nearly 60-page chapters every 2 weeks, fair enough. That is completely fair.
It makes me wonder about 2 things. One, is Asa going to be the person that Denji isn't? Obviously, because Denji has a fucked up childhood. Denji doesn't really have that much of a value for human life. When you get down to it, he has a value
he barely
for his
sees
own
himself
life.
as human.
Yeah. While Asa has lived, at least up to a point, a regular life with a mother who obviously cared about her and even sacrificed herself. Not intentionally sacrificed herself, but at least put herself in more danger by stopping to save her daughter and spur her on to keep on running. So it's obvious that Asa has that kind of morality set in
Asa
her,
is more human. This is why I like Asa as a protagonist. I love Genji too. But I also highly love Asa because even from the very beginning, she was always presented as more human. More approachable, more to empathize with.
The question is how is Yoru going to then do this?
Temptation. It's temptation. Like, again, this is Venom. This is literally just Venom. This is all this is. And that's fine. That works. And Yoru is going to be kind of this... She's like the ego that fucking Asa has to fight. She's the temptation. It's like, you gotta run. Saving the cat has never served you well. Yoru presents I talked about this with Jujutsu Kaisen, where the villain, another villain, is inside Itagaki, and that presents the most conflict. Yoru gives Asa 100% always present conflict. That's also what makes Asa so fucking interesting. She has always got the villain inside her, always tempting her and going, saving the cat has never served you well. Let that girl die. Actually, no, in fact, kill that girl. Make her a weapon. She served her purpose. And now let's get to fighting. And Chainsaw Man's there too. What better time to finally do this? Let's get our fucking revenge. Let's go. And Asa goes, I gotta save the cat. I gotta make a choice. And so it presents Asa with these opportunities to be better, to be great, to bump into conflict. I love this setup so much. I love Chainsaw Man Part 2 so fucking much. I love Part 1. I love Part 2. I am so confident. I said it before. I trust Fujimoto. I am all in on this ride. This is going to be awesome. No dead chapters. They're all great.
I'm looking forward to the next chapter too. Is there anything I didn't in this? I thought it was pretty cool. I was like confused. My internet was like fucked when I initially tried to read this. So and it was like, oh, Chainsaw Man saved everyone from a cockroach devil, because mine was like not loading pages in, and it would like skip me to the end, and I was like, wait.
It's probably the thing is you're probably watching while the fucking site's going down, because people are overloading. People. That's the only place you can read Chainsaw Man right now, because they've got the leakers dead to rights right now. They know, and they're like, we release on Tuesdays, motherfucker. These are international simultaneous releases. There will be no leaks, motherfucker. But because of that, their servers are getting overloaded. Everyone's reading it all at once. So like, I literally sit there, because I'm always at the hospital when Chainsaw Man comes out, and about like 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning, I will literally go to the bathroom and sit there and reload on my phone until it goes. I can read it immediately before it goes down.
I'm just hoping they can really, like, because if Asa is going to be a hero with Yoru as the power behind it, then it's like, how are you going to convince Yoru, and how are you going to convince me that Yoru can do this? And
now this is what I think it might start turning to Venom. So how can Asa tempt Yoru in return? Now it's time for the rebuttal. That's what's next, Val. Now it's like, all right, so now how does Asa learn to control Yoru? Because so far it seemed like Yoru's in power, and I'm sure there's going to be much more bids and conflicts of power with Yoru. This is just
like
the
a
beginning.
Classic cult.
But I do want to see Asa's rebuttal now. Because we know fear is part of it.
Yeah.
So we'll see what's next. But yeah, again, the potential is there. There's so much potential because the structure is so sound. That's what happens when you do things right. That's what happens when you save the cat, motherfuckers. Prime example, what happens when you save the cat. It presents a lot of interesting things, especially when you're like Fujimoto and you're a genius and you make the most. When you grind and gnaw upon every single bit of that cat. Every piece of the cat. Whatever the term is, every piece of the buffalo. Now we use every piece of the cat. Ooh. Oh my gosh. Chainsaw Man has me so excited. But any other thoughts before we move on to My Hero Academia?
I think you pretty much covered it all.
So this week on My Hero Academia.
Bakugo
Val, I've never been
just
excited for
dead.
leaks. I sat there refreshing my phone on like Wednesday night for the leaks, and then the leaks didn't come. I'm like, fuck. I had to know. So, is Bakugo dead? What do you think?
I mean, they straight up say his heart is literally torn to shreds. Also, the bit that I actually loved about this is,
he looks dead.
He does look dead. Literally, best genius there, like, no, his heart is like been torn to shreds. What the fuck? And then you got, what's his name? The guy who's currently, like, holding back Shigaraki with,
Mirko.
No.
The guy Dabi?
No, the guy with the tears. The water in his eyes.
Oh, Monoma. Monoma's like,
thank
you
you.
son of a bitch. You said this would be a perfect victory. What the fuck?
Yeah,
Devastating.
yeah.
Devastating. Heart clutched.
Although it does bring up the thing that, like, does make me go, like, Bakugo's okay, and it always has been the case, from which every other character needed to instill in us from the very beginning that Bakugo is still cool, or at least inspiring in the way that he goes about things. Literally from day one, even when Bakugo is at his worst, people are always going, oh, but Bakugo's super talented and cool and like really
Because he pisses
impressive.
them off. He pisses them off so much they want to do better. It's great. Again, Bakugo is such a good point of conflict. That's the reason why he's the #1 in the character polls.
I would say
he's the most interesting character because he presents the most conflict.
Into
he
the
fights
story.
everyone, including his own allies.
He doesn't bring conflict though. He's like just a fucking side note.
He antagonizes them. He mocks them. He
people,
mocks
but
them
he
to be
never
better.
Actually brings in antagonization into the story. Bakugo has never actually been a
He wasn't
problem
he
in
wasn't
the
antagonist at the
story.
beginning of the story. He was the bully, remember?
No, he was the bully, but he's never actually caused
That's
a problem
antagonism.
within the story.
He was literally like, Deku, you can't be in Hero Academia because I'm the Hero Academia. Get fucked. and then they had that exercise, and
Oh,
Midori
yeah, but I
beats him,
mean,
and that was his turning point. Early
in the
Bakugo was an
face
antagonist.
of this school, he has never actually been an antagonist, except
He has been
the
an
only
antagonist
time
in school.
it was
They
done
talk.
it- the only time
No,
it was
during
done
the school
effectively
during the
was
school
against- I was
festival,
literally
they
about to
talked
say,
so
the only
much shit
time it
about
was done
Bakugo.
effectively was when it was with Uraraka, and everyone was like, "Fuck you, Bakugo! Fuck you! How could you hit a girl? How could you? It's 2016, you piece
Exactly.
of shit!"
Again, it's about perspective. From their perspective, he is absolutely antagonist.
There's only been 2 times
But
where
he
he's
still
caused trouble
inspires
in
them.
the story. That is one.
You are
the sports
correct.
Festival,
You're correct. He
when
his
got
conflict
kidnapped.
inspires positive change. That's what we're getting at. That's what we're
Yeah, but it's
bumbling
what
into
I'm
each other
saying
about.
is it's the expository dialogue of, "Oh, but Bakugo's still fucking cool." Everyone always says how cool Bakugo is.
In a way, yeah.
Yeah, that's my like biggest issue with Bakugo throughout the story. It's still, you know, I'm not one of these people that's like,
Oh yeah,
"Fuck
I mean the fact that
he's
they hate
dead."
them, but they also can't get off their fucking crush from him. I agree. Yes.
Yeah,
I agree.
precisely.
They still crush super hard on him because I
Yeah.
should fuck too. And that's how I
Absolutely.
talk to the audience about it too. When they all make up their bullies in high school and they inflict that upon Bakugo. I'm like, bro, you love him. Shut up.
I'm
It was-
kind of
this-
shocked.
The chapter leaks. The leaks on Twitter were trending even before the leaks actually came out, like
Right.
24, 48 hours beforehand, because
get it.
people love Bakugo so fucking much.
I have to say the thing that like confuses me is like, I mean, Eraserhead. Did it? Maybe I'm forgetting shit. Eraserhead seems the most no, obviously it's Best Genius, but Eraserhead is like the second
Because he
most
loves all his kids.
devastating.
He loves all his kids, but Bakugo is his favorite.
Fair enough then.
Because that's the one he's like, oh man, that one's got the high SAT scores. He's the one that keeps our school funded.
I mean, I'm happy that
That's
like
our
the
that's
villains.
our that's our money.
I'm
that's our
kind of
money
happy
boost.
that the villains are bucking back. Like it's a hard fucking buck right here. Like Darby's not down for the count, which it's like, well, you
We
could've
knew
told
that
us
was
this
coming.
a while ago. I genuinely thought he was down because it's like so
and
much
he's like,
time has
I
passed.
copied your technique. I've been training off camera all this time. Shut up, AFO. Shut up, All for One. I don't care. But that being said, if we were afraid that fight went too quickly, well, here's part 2. Get
Yeah.
ready. Somehow he's gonna wind up fighting Endeavor. Somehow.
Like I'll say this. Maybe it's the biased in me, but I feel like One Piece does the at least panning to a new scene better than this has, because I just thought
One Piece
Darby's
does
done.
everything better than
we
everyone.
haven't,
What are you talking about?
we haven't
What
seen
else is
Darby
fucking new?
or Shoto for like weeks. Yeah, that fight's fucking done. How long ago was it?
It was like
happened?
5 years ago.
It feels like fucking ages ago. So I am genuinely like, I thought that fight was done, and now it's come back, and it's like, oh no, it's just the buck, and that guy with like the horned like headband thing is dead. Absolutely, Darby has just completely fucking destroyed him. There's no coming back from that. What's her name? Rabbit Lady has been like reduced to Mirko is seemingly just completely done. Like, you know, she's like lost an arm. She's just being like fucking manhandled upside down and everything. Although I like the bit where it's like, no, this is my fault. I should have fucking killed you immediately.
Should
If
have
only
killed
I
you
was
in
fucking...
the womb, baby Hitler.
Yeah. That'll be the sequel. It'll be like the Dr. Stone sequel with time travel or something. We're going back in time and killing Shigaraki. And All Might's doing it himself. Like, I'm gonna cut the cord myself.
But yeah, so basically now we're on the Twilight of the Soul moment of this battle is what we're at. The villains are like, yeah, we planned everything. Also, those who were complaining about All for One knowing everything, Skeptic was here too.
I fucking
got
forget
all our
about-
bases covered.
I'm surprised that I have should I be? No, I'm surprised that I have everyone in the fucking revolutionary whatever it was called front or whatever. What was it? Supernatural. I don't even know why it was called the Supernatural front or something like that. I remember that bit always confused me, but I'm surprised he has like remained around the longest, but I guess he, when you think about it, has the most skill to offer. And here's what's pissing me off. All this is going down. What the fuck is going down with Ochako and Froppy on the fucking island? I have genuinely been looking forward to that bit.
It's been 5 years. They're probably dead now.
I want to know what the fuck is going on. It's like the villains are bucking. I don't even know what's going on over there. I understand, like,
We'll get
All
there.
for One.
We'll get back there.
It feels. I don't know. It feels.
There's a lot
really
going on.
like...
Remember, fucking Aoyama and Fat Gum are in the Children of the Corn maze with one of the assassins too.
Oh fuck! I literally forgot about that.
There's a lot still going on.
Yeah, and it's like, isn't this supposed to end like in March or something?
I discussed this last week. It's not ending. It's not ending. It's gonna be a while. Mangaka have terrible timing. Even someone like Horikoshi who's rushing to the finish line right now, he still has too many pieces in play. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, but it's like, what if he does just decide, yeah, I'll just send it off screen. It's like, you know, Chaco, like, you know, I mean, he can't do that to what's her face, Blood Girl, Toga, thank you. He can't do that to Toga because, frankly, she does have out of all the villains, to be honest, at this point, she's probably at the top of my list of like, yeah, no, I like can like sympathize the most with her, and I want to like know how her story ends the most. We all know Darby's a lost cause. He has to die. Shigaraki is definitely on the fucking road to being like fucking forgiven, and him and fucking Midoriya are gonna come together and they're gonna defeat All For One as like, you know, the child who was fucking like ignored by Hero Society, and Midoriya who's like literally the fucking opposite of him and like recognized by All Might and shit like that. I fucking get it. You know, I'm so, and then it's like the reveal of All For One's face. It's like, yeah, you should have dropped that. I've said it before, you've said it. They should have dropped that fucking like cover of the Shonen Jump.
Why was that cover so soon?
Yeah.
I still don't understand what the plans was, because I've seen the other covers since then. Besides a couple of fucking One Piece fucking Detective Conan crossovers, we still had plenty of weeks before that happened. Why? Could have waited even some time after. Didn't have to be right now.
Yeah,
they must have just had nothing for that particular week, and they just.
I also
jumped
forgot
ahead.
Ida's here. Is Ida gonna do something? That'd be cool. You know, I bet
He
Stain's
did
gonna help.
next to nothing in that fight. So yeah, I think maybe this is Ida's opportunity to do something.
No, Stain is gonna help. This is my guess.
Please, I would love to see Stain.
Stain is gonna turn up.
I need over.
Ida has to set aside his grudge for Stain. I forget again. He crippled Ida's brother, right? He's not dead.
Yeah, Stain crippled his brother.
Yeah, I always get confused between them.
So you want a begrudging team up. Alright, I'm down for that.
I'm guessing a begrudging team up is gonna happen. Ida's gonna be there. Obviously, Shoto's gonna be there, because, it was just Midoriya and Ida who took down Stain. When Ida was super fucking cool.
Yeah, Todoroki was there as well.
God, that's been so long. So
it was one of the best arcs. It was one of the best arcs.
Yeah, absolutely gonna be a begrudging team up. These kids are probably gonna take out these fucking All For One agents or whatever that are in like the refugee area. I don't fucking know how that's gonna go down. I don't know. I'm admittedly not really feeling this chapter very much, to be honest.
This chapter,
like
no. This chapter was I will say right now, great chapter so far. Art still looks great. This is devastating, but we were shown nothing. This was Horikoshi going, Bakugo's dead, in quotes. Because now here's my crackpot theory.
And everyone's feeling it.
Now segue to the other fights. But here's my crackpot theory. So Genus, I think Genus is full of shit. I think this is an act. I think him and Bakugo planned this. And Genus is like, okay, I'm gonna pretend that you're dead. Oh God, he's dead.
Don't worry,
the humanity.
Bakugo.
And right now he's stitching his heart back together with his threads.
No, he's just like, Bakugo, pretend to be dead. I have done this for literal months.
Yeah, no, legitimately, yes. So I think right now he's stitching Bakugo's heart back together, and I think this is when the nitroglycerin comes into play. Audience, we're bringing your theory back. Because if he can sew that heart back together and get the nitro in his sweat, we might have one of the dumbest things Horikoshi's ever done, and it'll be fucking hilarious.
Just do the fucking time travel shit. I don't care. Fuse fucking Aryans.
Well, how can he time travel if he's fucking dead?
I don't fucking know. It's fucking dumb. I'm not one of the people that wants Bakugo to be dead. I don't love the character by any means, but I also don't hate him to the extent. But if you've killed him and you've made a point that his heart has been torn to fucking shreds, please leave him in the fucking ground and let him be the martyr or something that resurrects Hero Society like it's gonna fucking happen. But it does bring up the stuff that you like a lot though about how like Hero Society is like, you know, fundamentally flawed. But that's literally been like the entire fucking series.
Yep. So that's all we got to say about this week of My Hero Academia, alright? Nothing really happened. Let's move on. Finally to One Piece.
The power shift is real, and now, like, you know...
We knew it was going to happen. That's the rebuttal.
Precisely.
So, One Piece. Today, this week, we have the finale of Wano. Wano has ended.
Not much actually happens in this chapter.
No, it was just a capper. It was just the period dot.
Yeah.
Nothing really happened. It was a big chapter, though.
And
so,
yeah, it was neat. And
nothing we didn't know. Yamato's not gonna be on the main fucking crew. Cause someone has to pilot Pluton.
And
so
like,
that's
you
gonna
know,
be Yamato.
I remain like, you know, proud with the fact that I am so fucking good at guessing some of this shit.
Yeah, you've been on fire lately.
Nah, but it has just been like it was just too obvious. It was annoying for me because it's like I just want it to be like Yamato just fucking say like at the Admiral fight. Nah, I gotta fucking stay, man. These people fucking need me. I'll come join you guys later or something. And they don't even. I thought, because I read the scans and I was reading like the descriptions, because I was so like, it's decided now. Am I wrong? Am I right? Does he join? Does he not join? And it's like, no, I was right. He doesn't join. But it was just so infuriating to me how much they were like, you know, just messing around with like, oh, I'm gonna join the crew. Take it up with Luffy. I'm gonna go live how Odin lives. Go on then, tell me how Odin fucking lives.
Jinbei's like, boat's full. Sorry, bro.
Yeah, nah, he, like I said, only one flag flies on this ship, and it's like, whoa, Jinbei. The fuck, man?
Jinbei, what? When you talk about the trans flag, Jinbei?
He's like, no, that's
yeah.
it's like Jinbei. After you talk about casual racism with Who's Who, we expected better from you.
We expected better from Jinbei. Speaking of casual racism, what's that fucking race called? The Coral something are born to burn?
Yes. Oh, that was actually a fucking dope line. Holy shit.
Oh my gosh, that was pissing some people off on Twitter.
Kurozumi means charcoal. They were born to burn out. Fuck.
Holy fuck.
No, it's great.
Okay, relax.
Like Odin, you know, it wouldn't be Odin if it wasn't boiled. And it's like, nah, man, you were made to fucking burn. Oh, I fucking loved that. Actually, that was so good. And let me just say, it's always nice to get these like nice farewell bits, but I was admittedly taken a bit aback and like, because they had to go into, and I understand it. This is the end of the 10-year in the making fucking battle, an adventure.
10 years in the making. The arc by itself was over 4 years.
Yeah.
With 6 prior years of setup. So, but that being said, the fact that we actually had flashbacks in the manga, what is this, the fucking anime? I can hear that music, you know, the do. You know the flashback music. You know, I can hear it in my fucking head through this chapter.
Yeah, the leitmotif of fucking the main theme.
No, that's not the one. That's not the one I heard. It was the other one, the more upbeat one, where it's just flashback music.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I know.
It's the other one. That's the one I was hearing throughout this fucking
I am
flashback.
thinking more of the leitmotif of like sad.
But yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I love sad.
I'm talking about the one that the anime abuses when they have to show fucking who's that giant that used to hang out with Robin?
Oh,
Steena
Jaguar D Sol.
What's that?
Jaguar D Sol.
Yeah, Jaguar D Sol, who dies like fucking 12 times an episode during the fucking
right.
The fucking not Impel Down, the fucking Ennie's Lobby fucking arc.
Oh, you know, I actually did do, and I wanted to mention earlier, I actually finished Fire Punch.
Oh, you did.
I did.
I would save that for another time. I would save
absolutely. I'm not going to talk about it now, but weird one. I thought it was good, but it was like also like, man, Chainsaw Man is such a major improvement upon his work, I feel.
Exactly. That was my issue. Is just it felt like a step back.
But like, you know, we could talk about that next week or something if you want. If it's a slow week, we'll talk about.
No, but it's interesting that you bring that up because MAPPA has expressed interest in also animating that as well. I'm
not surprised. I mean, they honestly. They should make a movie about it instead.
They basically have the handshake rights to it now. Basically,
I would say
the fact that they walked in and asked for Chainsaw Man and they got it. Now they're like, fuck it. We stake claim. Basically, the point of that statement was to tell other studios, no, we get all of Fujimoto's work. Good fucking luck.
I'm
like, that was a big dick move.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
I kind of hate MAPPA.
That, like I said, big dick, but I'll be honest, kind of an emphasis on the dick.
I mean,
that's a monopoly move.
They did one season.
Through sheer intimidation, they're like, other anime studios, stay the fuck away. We don't have official deals, but we will do all of Fujimoto's work back to fuck off. And it's like, kind of a dick move. Could you finish Attack on Titan first?
Yeah, and it's like, I would
One
make
Punch Man Season 3 also confirmed. Is that gonna be MAPPA?
Oh yeah, no. Here's what I'd say though. If they were gonna make a
D
movie
was
of
like,
Fire
fuck,
Punch,
they're gonna get fucking Studio Gonzo on this shit.
if they were gonna make if they were gonna make anything Fire Punch, make it a movie. It would honestly do better if they trimmed the fucking fat.
I agree.
Yeah, in my personal opinion, I still liked it. There's a lot of cool stuff to it, but it's like, man, it's also just a lot of really unnecessary stuff, and it's like, you know how we talk about where it's like, Fujimoto will kill anyone, and it's like, yeah, no, this is just him introducing people and then like just immediately getting rid of them, but that is neither here or there. I like this chapter, but once again, barely anything actually happened. Like you said, it is the full stop. It is just the end of a chapter.
The chapter's literally called the fucking curtain call. It's literally the final curtain.
Yeah.
The curtain literally draws close at the end. We're just kind of saying our full goodbyes. You could hear the music in your head, the welling up, as they rush over the waterfall to go their separate ways. Goodbye, Traff. You will not be fucking missed now. What a fucking downgrade.
Any of you watching this, you probably already know my opinions of Traffy. He ruins like every fucking fight by being incompetent.
The reverse Midori, I've said it again millions of times. The more he's on screen, the less of him we get. He just gets lost.
I literally, honestly...
He's less of a character, he was more of a character before than he was after.
He shined the most in Dressrosa and Punk Hazard. In Punk Hazard, he was the anti-hero, the absolute anti-hero of the fucking series, cutting Virgo in half, stealing people's goddamn hearts. And
yeah, it was fucking sick.
It really was, but as it's gone, it's just like, well, Lord, we've seen what you can do after Punk Hazard and everything, like... You just don't impress anyone anymore. It's like, oh, their hockey is too strong. Well, then just fuck off with your friends for like 10 seconds while they shoot off their big special move and come back, buddy. That's all you have to fucking do. I don't know. It pisses me off and stuff when it's like, this character can do this, then utilize this on a regular basis and give me a better reason why they don't use X ability against this. I'm not a power scaling guy. I'm a... use what you have in an appropriate fucking manner, please, kind of guy.
Right.
Which is probably equally stupid. Anyway, how are you feeling about the end of a 10-year saga and officially moving on to what will be the final long haul of One Piece?
So this 10-year saga, I'm not gonna lie, had a weak start, but I mean, Whole Cake Island was fucking great.
I think a lot of the people would probably agree with you. Fishman Island, although more reports now because of its connection with obviously like the weapons and everything.
Yeah,
like
I
that.
want to update me and Steena's viewing of One Piece. The same thing as me. We got to Fishman Island and we kind of went, okay, we did the Return to Sabaody, and now we're just kind of like, want to watch Queen's Gambit? It just doesn't. It's such a fall. It's not its fault. It's still good. It's just. Comparably, you went from perfection to high good.
The Return to Sabaody.
But you feel the whiplash. You feel that drop, and you're just like, I'm not feeling very enthused. So me and we're taking a break right now, and so and that's indicative of this entire saga.
I don't blame you.
Fishman
I don't
Island,
blame you.
It's a slow crawl back to the top. Dressrosa for me was a lot. But then Punk Hazard I thought was kind of fun. I fell asleep during Zoo. To this day, I actually need to reread Zoo because
I agree.
I actually don't really understand it.
Zoe was I mean after Dressrosa,
it's a preamble to Wano. It's a preamble.
Yeah.
But Wano itself.
Well, Whole Cake. It was a preamble to Whole Cake.
Yeah. I think it still has more to do with Wano, if I'm being honest though.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, but
no,
you're
absolutely
right.
Wano.
But
Nick
Wano
Evolution,
is fucking... Wano was good. I at the end of the day, my feelings on Wano are very positive. I just don't think it needed to be that fucking long. I think Odin's flashback is one of my favorite things in all of One Piece.
Odin's flashback is probably one of the best handled things in the anime.
Like, for a retcon. Because Odin's presence is definitely a retcon, but it gives us an outsider's perspective. An outsider in the inside of Roger's final days. And I really liked it.
People don't like to admit it that much, but One Piece is absolutely full of retcons. Like, for example, the Navy
as expected of a story going on 30 fucking years.
25 years officially. soon. But like,
Oh,
it's like, you remember how the Navy used to be like depicted as having like fucking koi ponds and like having loads of overtly Japanese stuff, and now it's like Wano is like the only place. Really with that
exactly.
stuff?
I mean, that's just because that's the perspective of a Japanese writer.
Yeah, and it's like obvious.
Is.
I think it's cool, to be honest, that Oda got to do this arc. You could tell that this was a huge thing. I mean, they literally changed up the style of the anime to match something more along the lines of fucking Japanese art styles, like, you know, the.
Well, they didn't do it for the Japanese art style. They did it because they were very heavily aware of their criticisms of the anime, and they said, "All right, who's that guy who animated Dragon Ball Super Broly? Get his ass on here."
He's the director now.
They got a new compositing studio. Like they it was basically a reboot. And good on them. Congrats for understanding that there was a problem and fixing it.
Agreed.
I don't think it's that. I think it's still just like UFOTable's solution. Put a lot of pre-rendered effects over things and call it a day.
I would actually argue.
But it's still better than what we had before. It's still an improvement.
I would actually argue that One Piece has a new issue, and I know it sounds like I'm being such a bitch, and it's like, Val, you've got so much fucking food in front of you. Why aren't you eating? But I actually think sometimes the animation in One Piece goes way too fucking hard for the most unnecessary things.
Yes, because it's actually a shortcut. They're doing a lot of extreme close-ups to cover the things they have to animate. They have found a solution to kind of like, they found a shortcut and they're abusing it because it's Toei.
No, it's like the bit that okay, so it's like originally I was just like, it was just little things. It was like, oh, Zoro fighting this guy, he was like standing 10 feet away from him, and then suddenly he's fucking doing this massive charge up from miles away, and he's moving so fucking fast, and only now does he hit him and stuff like that. It sounds dumb. I really like perspectives and like keeping where characters are. I don't know. I'm a real stickler for that kind of thing. Sue me. But then it's like in one of the more recent episodes, Luffy did his uppercut to Kaido. His actual, like, you know, hit that he didn't physically touch Kaido. It's when he's getting the hang of Ryo and he hits Kaido without touching him by expelling the Ryo from his body through his fist. And I understand a little bit why they gave it such a massive glamour shot in the anime, but in the manga, it was just a really effective, great single panel wha-boom to the freaking face. It was just so much better, and frankly, I think would have been way cooler in the anime if it was just Luffy punching Kaido with the Ryo, and then Kaido being like dumbfounded by that for a fucking minute, end the episode. I would have found that stronger, but I understand then it's like they're trying to fill in time with this really amazing, like, golden shit. Also, I hate the auras.
Yeah, but again, that's UFOTable's solution to everything. Put auras over it, and it masks a lot of missing animation.
Not UFOTable, you mean Toei?
No, UFOTable from Demon Slayer. They do this too. People think Demon Slayer is so well animated, and to a degree, yes. But you'd be surprised how much pre-rendered effects carries them.
Oh, okay. Now it's like,
and I use that comparably to One Piece because they abuse it too.
Yeah, I really don't like the new like Dragon Ball Z aura kind of thing.
That's the reason why they do it. But you want to talk about something that has never changed and is still awful? Their sound design.
I don't. It's kind of iconic.
Their sounds have still not changed. Literally, there are abridgers who have better sound libraries than One Piece.
I agree, but it's like an iconic library.
Someone could start abridging. They could make their very first abridged, and they will probably have access to a better sound library than One Piece does. That is where they completely skimp. That is where the money dies.
They shoot out like a fucking Gundam sound effect every so often, I swear to God.
No, it's the run. Like, you hear running, and the running does not match the feet, and it's the same running effect. I have the fucking clip. And it doesn't match the ground that they're running on. It's fucking pathetic.
I imagine the sound is probably something that they are just like, okay, you know what to fucking do.
They don't give a shit. It's a remnant. It's a relic of the past because let's say the first like 50 episodes of One Piece, it was probably acceptable then, but in the modern day, they finally modernized the animation, but the sound design is still firmly in the past.
It's like not very textured or anything like that. There's
nothing.
Not like
It has nothing. It's nothing.
Sound effect.
It's
like
literally just
a single
clips
sound
on a soundboard. There's no mixing. Minimal.
Well,
If
there's
anything that's
mixing,
mixed,
obviously, but I know what you mean.
Obviously, but I'm talking about the fact that the fucking the effect, the sound effect specifically, the ambience, it just doesn't jive.
They just
they
don't
barely
have
touch
a
it.
massive selection of sounds that they use. They go
They
with the
could,
old
though.
reliables. They could.
But they won't.
They
because
could.
that's where they skimp on the budget.
I think it's the same with like things like Dragon Ball Z and stuff, though. I think that's just a Toei thing.
Yep.
Where
I
it's
think
like-
Dragon Ball Z actually has a little bit better, I'll be honest. I mean, I just saw a movie where it was a lot better.
Yeah, that's a movie in all fairness. Like, yeah, we'll watch
No,
like
but
fucking...
the One Piece movies are also not that good, though, with sound design.
Well, we'll talk about that when One Piece Film Red drops in the West.
Hopefully soon.
Yeah.
Because if they showed a Dragon Ball movie, they should show One Piece. But then again, One Piece's
I think
reputation is very different in the West. We talked about that.
Yeah, it's like, I went to see Stampede in cinema, and I had a good time, but as you know, I feel like that film, like, suffers with, like, I just feel like the pacing of that story and the... I'm not that into...
It's the Dragon Ball Super Broly of One Piece movies. It's just
A big
one
fucking
big long
fight.
action sequence.
I preferred everything at the start where they were doing fucking...
But I think it actually ties some ribbons on some fucking dynamics and character arcs, though. That's why I give it some credit.
No, it does. It does.
It could be serviceably an okay finale to One Piece.
No, that's the thing that it does best. Fan service. It is the like
those are Toei
definitive
movies.
fan service film of One Piece.
But before we run out of time, I do want to briefly mention One Piece, the anime 1029.
Oh.
The introduction, the retcon of Luffy's earliest years with Yuta, the pop idol in Film Red. I actually quite like these episodes. They're stretched thin. There's barely anything happening, but it's kind of nice to get away from the fucking auras and the pre-rendered effects and the insane action and have something that's a little bit more down to earth and quiet and feels like classic One Piece.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's a solid episode. And there's more. I guess it's a two-parter, maybe even more. But they just wanted to retcon and say, okay, yeah, here's Yuta was there with Luffy from the very beginning. But what I appreciated was the fact that we also got some early pre-Shanks Luffy, who doesn't quite understand doesn't want to be a pirate, doesn't know what they are, but you can tell that something within him, he wants freedom. I'm like, all right, that's pretty cool. And we get to see Luffy just kind of wander around the forest. He trains, he fights monkeys.
Wait, Luffy doesn't understand pirates, really?
No, yeah, he comes in, Shanks shows up, and Luffy goes, get the fuck away, pirates, you're the bad guys. I'm gonna fucking fight all you. And Shanks is like, bro, let me show you what pirates are all about. Hard cut to Luffy's like,
kid,
pirates are the fucking best.
Take a hit on this vape and I'll show you what pirates are all about.
And then Luffy's completely turned on pirates immediately. He's like, all right, pirates are the coolest. And then Yuta does literally a pop idol performance in the middle of a bar. It's very awkward and weird, but the music is quite good.
Yeah, apparently
they actually got a real fucking singer for this.
I am admittedly somewhat annoyed that like Uta is
I don't know pop music in Japan, but whoever did this must be a very big deal.
Oh yeah, no, I've been listening to that song. It's a good song. The song that they used for One Piece Film Red's like the trailer.
I'm not actually listening to the song. I've only heard the ones in that episode. I have not heard the soundtrack for the movie. I'm waiting for the movie to hear it.
Fair. You know, it'll hit you.
I want to hear it in its pure intent.
Do that. I'm proud of you, my son. Do that. By the way, I'm also still rewatching One Piece, and guess what, Ivan? Unlike some cowards, I'm watching Long Ring Long Land.
Sorry.
No, I get it.
Sorry you had to wait so long to get to Water 7.
I fucking love Long Ring Long Land. I fucking love it. I'm gonna get fucking...
Alright, yeah, do that long censored bit, and then we're just gonna leave, because I don't think there's a better ending than that.
Yeah, just...
Let's let the audience imagination think of something way worse. I don't know why you would ask to have that censored, because anyone's imagination is going to be exceptionally worse.
Well, it wasn't like... What was it? Badger? Do you remember the fucking... Me and Freddie were talking about Lord of the Reels and like just Joy Reels.
Oh, and I unnecessarily censored the Badgers. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was fucking great.
That made me fucking laugh.
Classic JoyRide moment.
I
but speaking of that,
legit one of my
speaking of classic Joy, here's a classic sign off from Joycast. We'll see y'all next week.
Yeah, let's jump on this fucking train. What are we talking about
Goodbye,
next week?
everyone.
Do we have anything next week?
No. Goodbye.
Mind the gap as you exit our podcast safely. Rebuild of Joycast is hosted by Ivan LeRoy and Valentine Stokes. LeRoy's written and directed works can be found on the JoyRide Entertainment YouTube channel and the soon-to-be-released original web manga, PARAMEDIC. Val's dulcet tones can be heard in many of your favorite anime and web series, such as RWBY, Death Battle, Tribe 9, Lackadaisy Cats, and more. This episode was edited by Steena Carey. with YouTube version edited by Cody Rock. Music provided by Lofi Geek. Intro and outro narration by Steena Carey. Outro music composed by Michael Pejovich. Logo and visuals designed by Ivan LeRoy. Rebuild of Joycast is produced by JoyRide Entertainment and Rock Voice Productions LLC, and made possible thanks to Patreon donations from generous listeners like you. This month's highest tiered Patreon producers are Mr. Host, Austin, Gooner Bear, Jellydonut, Jessook Tejas, and FluffyGiggles McKoolcid. If you would like your name shouted out at the end of each podcast, an invite to our private Discord to interact with fans, cast and crew, or early access to all of our content, be sure to check out JoyRide Entertainment's Patreon. Links provided in the description. Thank you for keeping JoyRide's engine burning.